What's up, people? This is episode 184 of the Option Podcast. That guy over there looks like Nate Yang. Nice. That guy's Big Mike Groselle. I got the name right. He was ready for me to mess it up. In any sense, the episode starts right now. What's up, people? You have asked, and you have asked. And for me, I've got to give the people what they want. That is Nathan Yang. That is Big Mike Groselle. What's up, guys?
What's up?
Yeah.
How's it going?
When'd you guys get in?
We came in for the Chicago qualifier last week, and then one of us, Mike, made a big trip back to Colorado, moving to the dream home in the mountains, and quick return back here on Monday or Sunday night for the Open here this week.
Did you say dream? Did he say dream home, Mike?
Yes. Yeah, we moved out to Golden, Colorado, up in the mountains. It's pretty nice. There's elk and deer sighting consistently outside our window.
Yeah. Do you hunt?
No.
No? Okay.
But, I mean, I was telling him, my man, half the reason I have a partner in Colorado is so I get my mountain time in. If you want to keep this partnership going, you have to level it up a little bit. He took it to heart,
Yeah, he did. He's coming back. So actually, let's talk about the easy part. We get into this house a little bit later because I'm congratulations. And just between Colorado and Utah is like God's country. I'm doing motherload. I'm driving 14 hours. I'm going to make a stop or whatever and this and that. So Nate, talk to me a little bit about, just give me one thing you thought your partner, Mike, has shown significant improvement in the last 6 months.
Man,
such a lazy question. It's such an escapist question, but it's volleyball.
3 years, maybe 4 years. No.
Yeah,
we can do 6 months. Man, this man's had 6 months, and he called me in January. He's like, hey, "We running this season?" It was like an easy yes for me because there's one person I trust to know they're gonna do their part of the equation and put their work in. It's this guy right here. And no matter what condition he's in, no matter how the tournament goes, good, bad. I don't got to ride this guy ever. Like, he's going to go do it himself, maybe too much, on the back end. And so the thing I think the last 6 months that we as a team, maybe that I'm most proud of him for doing is, if anything, like turning that down a little and turning up life mode, balancing out. Like, he's taken incredible strides in his business, in his family, and in his house, and maintained a high level. And the balance that he's shown while maintaining a high level, that's something that I think we can all agree in volleyball you got to do to be sustainable. Right. And I think we found that balance and are still moving up and to the right, which is a pretty cool thing because it's not like that flame that burned really hot and fast. It's like that slow burn, that's going to keep going. So it feels like, for him where he's going, where I'm most proud of him for is finding that like sustainability in life that's going to allow him to continue his trajectory, because obviously, we each have our ups and downs and burn hot and fast at times, but that's one of the coolest things is finding the balance in life and ball and keeping it improving.
Mike, are you one of those players that sometimes you wanting something bad enough works against you?
Yeah, that's what he's referring to.
I just
you can do too
I just want to
much.
spin off of that. Yeah,
for sure. Mm-hmm. I definitely do too much or think adding more is the way. Like, if I just do more things then I'll get more results, and sometimes that's not always the case. There's a stress and recovery response cycle that everyone's subjected to. Mm-hmm. That's what I've been learning. I think that's what I've learned the hard way. There's many tournaments I've come in with a jacked up back, and I'm like, Nate, I know that we talked about this 9 tournaments in a row now, but my back hurts again. I thought it'd be a good idea to max out my deadlift this week and then play a tournament.
That's cool.
But I do say sometimes this man blocks better when his back's messed up because that tear to the low space, no one's getting through.
You're not doing all this craziness.
So that's the one thing you thought got better. He did a better job of hitting the reset button, maybe compartmentalizing volleyball with the other.
Yeah, I guess and the volleyball answer, which is the more fun one, is just like our team systems. You know, we've been playing together long enough that we've gotten just roasted on so many situations over time, and like we've really just it feels like we've ironed out the how not to beat ourselves kind of equation. We're pretty confident in that. You know, at no point are we gonna like implode just on each other, which is pretty cool. Like that. So we've done that plenty of times.
Well, it's like a partner where you don't have to
yeah.
deal with your partner.
And then
in that respect.
And then number two is just kind of like, we've been able to like identify a team, like team defense stuff, like things that are, okay, that it's got to go A, then B, then C. And if it doesn't go to plan, we can just look at each other, kind of know, okay, I didn't do my job or you didn't do your job. And it's like, instead of there having to be this big, we're figuring out things, just cool, next ball now. And we're able to find that reset button a lot quicker, it feels like, in stressful times. And so that's the biggest like volleyball thing. It's just like it feels like we're pretty clear on who needs to do what when. And when it doesn't happen, it's just, it didn't happen. It's life. Next one,
well, I think that's a huge step, because when you take 1 point and you take a point, and maybe the point or the next point after is momentum, but when you're able to just step out of it and just take the numerical value of 1 point, like 1 is 1, right? Like someone hit a ball, maybe then they broke your glasses, knocked your glasses off, right? They got a point, right? But the next point they served out. Numerically, those points are valued at 1 point each. Now, we know that's not a reality when you're on the court, right? We know that sometimes a kill as a concern for the next point, or sometimes an ace, this or whatever, or sometimes when you're in a funk, how long is the funk? Is the funk gonna last 2 points? Is it gonna last 5 before Big Mike's back, right? So yeah, I like that, because to take that and at least temporarily say 1 is 1, 1 is 1 is huge.
Yeah, no, I think you nailed it there. It's our lows are less low, and that's a good thing for us.
Big waves
as a team.
crash.
Yeah. So
we had that conversation last time on the podcast, Mike. Big waves crash. Yeah, not being too emotional. What did I say? I said for every 5 points you get too high, you're probably going to give up 8 or 9 on the low or something like that. Yeah, I mean, that was episode 94, dude. This is 184.
Oh wow,
that's almost 100 episodes later, man. And let me tell you something. I remain humbled and grateful. Guys like you just keep picking up the phone and saying yes, and this 184 episodes of, also some other people, but this is still volleyball.
184 going on Aspen.
Yeah. All right.
In action play.
So Mike, I bring it to you. Nate just gave us one thing where he thought you showed significant improvement. Give me one thing that you'd like to do a little bit better. Now, this could be the physical, right? We had a great conversation about the muscles between our ears, from the and winning these battles from the neck up. We get that. You get to choose. I got to choose the question. Yeah. You get to choose the answer. The floor is yours, my man.
All right. So, what do I think I should be improving, doing better?
Yeah. What would you like to do a little bit better? Maybe your press. Maybe it's physical. Maybe it's the press on your block. Maybe it's ball hit or ball on blocking. Maybe it's ball toss contact on serve receive. Like maybe it's like some junior stuff, or maybe it's some adult stuff.
Yeah, I would like to stop. I would like to stop running up every time someone serves and getting jammed. And I'm saying that kind of to make Nate happy that I'm saying that.
Right answer. That is the right answer. Yes, nobody served us deep.
Oh my God.
Yeah. No, okay. So there's a tendency that we both do, and maybe he does it because I'm doing it. I definitely brought it to the table, but what happens is as a guy gets ready to serve, you start creeping forward, and then the next thing you know, you're 7-8 feet into the court. This dude's jump serving back line. Like, how are you gonna pass it? Is he gonna pass it over your head? Yeah, tomahawk.
Yeah. You're gonna pray.
And so, just trying to be a little more patient, sitting back there, and it changes it because now your whole attack's forward, and you're not scudding these balls, doing these emergency passes that are. Out of the video frame.
Give it the chop. Yeah.
You can't even see it on the film because you're passing it so high. Then you're pissed. You get a not good set. Why didn't you hand set it? It hit the location. It was in the location. Yeah, you pass it 30 feet high. Like, I'm not hand setting up balls. Ball's falling at 30 miles an hour.
It's like trying to catch a plane. Or a bowling ball.
Yeah, it's like-
yeah, sure. Set that one in my hands. Can I just catch it and throw it? Wait a minute. Yeah, we can do that. So I did that Q&A format because I did that when Tyler and Carlos Jimenez came on, and I actually just wanted to try with you guys. And there's an old saying like, good artists create, but great artists steal. So I just used the same question I asked them and posed that. So in the spirit of that, Tyler Penberthy has a question. He says, ask Mike Groselle why he's called Big Mike. He's average size at best.
Yeah, there's no way that I'm average size. I'm 250 and 6'8".
Yeah. No.
But I think he's jealous, to be honest. He says it all the time.
And for the real answer, refer to YouTube, Big Mike, Ninja Warrior.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my
Yes.
God.
That's where I came up with it. So I wanted to, and volleyball was like an afterthought. I didn't come up with it for volleyball. I really wanted to be an American Ninja Warrior, and by be on it, I mean I genuinely wanted and believed I could win this show that's designed for 500-600 pound dudes.
It really is.
Next
It's the
next
upper
one's
body
Survivor.
competition.
Yeah, it's the pull-up competition.
Yeah, it really is. Well said.
And so I needed, it's kind of like auditioning for Survivor. You have to have some sort of creative tell to you, some sort of story. And so I came up, I know it doesn't seem super creative, but I was like, well, I'm tall, so I'm Big Mike. And I would make these audition videos that would display how big I am relative to the people around me. I'd run into lights. I'd put on shirts that were too small in these videos. Like I'd pick kids up and help them dunk the basketball, stuff like that. And so it was needed at the time. And then Skylar and I were getting shorts and our names printed on me. It said Groselle and it just didn't look right. No. Because I had this Ninja Warrior stuff. Like I've got a shirt that says Big Mike on it. I was like, let's put Big Mike. He's like, that's kind of weird. He's like, but what's even funnier is I went to print my own shorts and I typoed, this is Nate's for Guy. He referred me to this guy. He's like, yeah, I don't know if he handles these low volume custom shorts, which are what you see the beach players playing. Those are just custom screen printed. And I didn't check the email I sent, and it said Bike Mike. That I sent him, and he gave me. Yeah. Not only were these like 12-point font, like the 12-point font on a regular sheet of paper, this guy printed on there. It said Bike Mike. I said, "There's no way it was Bike Mike," and he printed the email out, showed it to me, and I was like, "Yep."
He's like, somehow the words I told you so, just don't say it. Yeah. So I like Big Mike for American Ninja Warrior because you have to consider like the average height of the Ninja Warrior, right? It's like you visiting Guam. You're not Big Mike. You're Goliath Mike. You're just like you're a dad amongst sons and daughters, for Christ's sakes. That's what it looks like now. Cute kid. Oh, aren't you adorable? I'm a man. Get off me, Mike. So I want to play a little bit. I actually see we can spin that.
AG1 gives you high quality daily nutrition that helps.
We ain't worried about no commercials now. Now, are we?
Which one are you?
I'm not sure.
Oh yeah, you used to be able to dunk.
My name's Big Mike.
This is the
dish.
Hey everyone, I'm Mike Groselle. I'm here to tell you why I'm going to be the next American Ninja Warrior.
Let's go.
College of South Carolina. While I was there, I got a degree in civil engineering and graduated with a 3.7 GPA, all while playing
the
basketball.
best was when the kids in Colorado found the video.
A three-time starter on a Division I basketball team. Currently, I hold our school's double-double record, and I am a two-time all-conference
I
selection.
love that. Look at that.
That's so funny.
Let's see if I can skip ahead. I'm gonna see if we could do some of these obstacles.
I've always wanted to be a part of American Ninja Warrior. Ever since
The enthusiasm.
When I first saw Sasuke on G4 TV.
I want to see you run into a light.
I was
Where does that
so impressed.
time stamp?
When I saw Makoto Nagano get total victory. I was so happy. I was
so
like,
well
Look, but
spoken.
look how tiny everybody is. You see what I'm talking about, Nate?
But unfortunately,
Look
I
at the
was playing
tininess, and
basketball.
look at this,
You know, people
like.
told me I'm too tall. You can't do this. You can't be a part of this competition.
Can you still
it's
do that?
crazy.
Yeah.
I don't think I could do. I mean, that was
Possible
quite a few
without
reps.
the help of my dad. Him and I, we sat down, pencil and
Jesus.
paper, and we
That
That
designed
freaking thing looks like it
ourselves,
hurts,
all these-
dude.
all these different obstacles.
That
I
actually
owe a lot
hurts
of
the
thanks
hips.
to him.
It does.
Like,
He helped me
Because
film
you're sick.
everything.
this was so.
He helped me do all my editing.
You're like, why did they make this look easy?
And
They made this look easy.
got to
This is supposed to be the easy part. Come on.
Where's the inspirational
Thanks
music behind the montage?
Oh shoot, that's awesome,
That
boys.
was fun.
Killed it, Mike. Killed it.
All right,
it.
thank you, Tyler, for bringing
All
that.
right, so let's kill the live version of this, and we're gonna go back in a minute. Yeah, we'll go back in a minute. The data rate, for some reason, the 60 frames per second and what Facebook requires at 29, sometimes it glitches and it says the data rate exceeded, which is why I would never do this exclusively on a live. I gotta, exclusively on a live. I gotta have my don't jump without a parachute.
Oh, cool. So that's running no matter what.
Yeah.
Cool.
This is the Autonomous Ninja Flame. Actually, I'll just show the crowd that since we're talking about it. That's yeah, it's recording hardware for some people that like hardware instead of software. So I'm going camera 4, and this thing is the lifesaver, guys. This is what they used for AVP Atlantic City for center court and for court 1.
Oh, no.
These ones.
They use all of their technology and they stream it like, I'll show you again, the HDMI in, the HDMI out. So this way they have like a hard copy of everything or whatever. So got one of these, and it's been instruments. It's been great for the podcast. So now we're gonna do a little reversal. Same type of question. I'm going to you, Mike, and I'd like you to tell me or tell our audience. Actually, let's go back on live. Tell our audience where you felt Nate has shown significant improvement the last 6 months.
Is this
The floor is yours.
Is this just volleyball? I gotta first say I need a.
Would you like to tackle
I
both?
need to clip out and save on my phone what Nate said about me so that I can cry at night. Because that was super sweet. Nate has made a lot of strides, especially in his volleyball game this last year. Yeah. I mean, he's like, I just remember him showing up. I think we trained. It was in March. He came down Brazil with me, and it was like, holy, this dude's cracked.
Yeah,
he's playing so good. He still is.
Yeah,
I'm not like, it was crazy, and I hadn't seen him in 6 months at that time. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
The work that you put in, because he moved to Florida, like fully committed. He's all the way down there full time now. And
you don't say.
Down in St. Pete.
Cool.
And I think that was a really cool, because when Nate and I first started playing, it was kind of like we were practicing. He wasn't like fully committed to the cause. He had the juniors club, and then he was doing some
Moved
stuff
out of
with
LA.
real estate.
It was kind of burned out a
He
little.
burned out, yeah. And so he's bringing this level of focus, like this very high level of focus. Like, I'll come in and put a bunch of work, maybe I'm not as focused, and he comes in, hey, he's probably watched 3 different matches before he's come to practice, and he's got 4 things to work on, and they're like things that we're gonna win points.
Right. Nate, do you find yourself being highly analytical like that? Like I as a coach, I get to do that because I'm not playing, right? And watching as much as I can over this and that. But some players suffer from something I affectionately refer to as paralysis through analysis, right? Paralysis through analysis is when you're getting so much information you can't do ash. It's just like, do you remember that? And it's like, no, but some players less is more, right? And for you, it seems like more is more. And do you find yourself handling that? Is that just part of your everyday operation?
I mean, it's a balance. There's definitely practice conversations and game conversations, right? And so super clear, we like affirm our communication a lot. Like, hey, this is a practice conversation. You're not going to hear me say this weekend, but we're focused today on practice in it.
Right.
And we're kind of choose to trust that stuff. And so, like, yeah, I mean, like, early on when we played together, it was kind of like I'd done all the things out here in LA, whatever, and I felt like I had to like lead Mike a little bit in practice, and then that role reversed, because he was working so hard, and it almost flipped where it was like, I'm behind, I haven't been working, so I'd learned to basically shut up and work harder. And, this past couple years have been like more of the happy medium where we're just both, hey, he's going to do his thing, I'm going to do my thing, And so whenever we have those conversations kind of either way, we'll make sure to intro it like out of practice, like, hey, I was watching film and I think this is going to help our team, And so when those are going on, that's just real cool. That might give me the window to like be analytical when it's like, something I think that's going to help us win.
Right.
And then on tournament day, it's just, we've got our team vibes like, number one, fearless. Just like me and him both have to own that state within ourselves, Second's connected, which is okay if, we're ever playing 3-on-1, it's not going to be good. Or 1-on-3,
Yeah.
So fearless, connected, and then third is focused. And that's, that might be where we're talking a little bit of tactical or something, but doesn't even come on tournament day till the first two when we're in the right, headspace and connected. Then maybe we'll talk some analytical, but it's low on the priority list on tournament day, high on the priority list on practice day.
It's very much like theater, right?
Yeah,
and right rehearsal.
So we definitely like we'll touch on it, but I'd say more or less like I do think those are the hidden nuggets, right? You watch a guy like Miles Spartain, you go, okay, did he get good from just showing up and just competing? And you're like, no. Dude watched hours and hours of his film. He's watching every little thing he gave up, and
not just that.
Yeah.
I mean, Partain's a different animal. Well, he's a different animal because you're talking about the analytical, but I'd like to talk about the physical. He's found a technique that his coach has a philosophical idea. Jeff Alzina, Mike Playcheck, all of these Jedi masters that he trained under, and he found a way to keep doing it until it became second nature. Like you see the way he jump sets, right? Some people like to face the net to deceive the block or whatever. No, he's still squaring up. He's already left-handed, right?
Yeah.
So now if he has to option set, the sellout is going to be left and right, which either one of you guys can handle. But like the margin for error this way is tight. Into the blocker's hands if he's not fooled, or behind the hitter's head. So a lot of these guys are doing this. You guys got mad skill. You could do it, but Miles is already thinking ahead about what's the worst case scenario. My margin for error is going to be behind this dude's head or whatever. And this is a copycat league. The European teams and the coaches are watching tons of video. Okay, you guys got options.
For sure.
We're just gonna sooner or later they're gonna catch up to the Swedes. Sooner or later they're gonna catch up to whatever, except in system.
Yeah. And it's not even like I'm the only analytical one on the team. I mean, Mike, like 2 weeks ago, dude, we need a pass tighter.
Yep.
We need to pass the ball tighter because it creates better vision. These passes that are 10 off are not doing it for us. We got to push the ball, jam it. And it sounds so simple and so obvious, right? And then you go look at our old film and we're not consistently doing it. And so we just go, okay, cool. We're just going to jam the ball tight in practice today and see how we handle it. And all of a sudden I'm like, whoa, I can see the whole court. Like, it's like, his toe is a little internally rotated, so he's going to run line. It's like you're seeing things you haven't seen before just from a little, intention. So we're both bringing it, at different times. But I think that's like it's part of the sauce for sure.
Yeah, Mike, something you wanted to add to that? You had a thought.
I do. I will add one of the favorite things Nate's brought to the games are the hugs. He knew I was gonna say it too.
Just like the Brazilians, baby.
Bro, you can't dude. This is what I was telling Nate. He could hit the ball out, come over, give me a hug. What am I gonna say? Like I can't still
get off of me.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna be like you can't even think about it anymore.
Get off of me, boy.
It's kind of a funny little like reset. Like it sounds weird.
No, it does.
For some guys,
depends on what country you live in, right?
Yeah.
Brazil, it's not weird for the men or women to do that. The Russians, you watch Krasnolnikov and Stoyanovsky.
They need a hug.
They hug a lot. No, they hug a lot.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, well, they live on their emotions. That team's not going to last long, but for the time, they're going to do really well because you're not going to see a whole lot of positive reinforcement and growth mindset in Eastern Europe. Sorry, they're going to beat you with a stick. Learn you make Latin and beat you half to death in a single-sex environment. Okay, boys, that's what's going on there. But yet, right? They're silver medalists, right? Yeah. They won the silver, reminding everybody. Mullenstern won the gold, but so I like the way what you said because I want to use that as a segue to the other part. I like what you said because Hugh McCutcheon, one of the things I watching that 2008 team, the indoor team, I remember him saying, "Don't try to play, just play." Right? So you doing the analytical that prepares you for the game, you're not out there trying. You're just doing it, right? It's like, Mike, it's like getting up in the morning and brushing your teeth, right? Are you thinking about brushing my teeth? Molar, 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 right? No. You're just brushing. No, you're just brushing your teeth because it's something you've done your whole life, and that turns into the physical second nature. Go ahead.
No. I didn't have anything.
Okay.
I just bumped. I was sitting up. I just bumped the mic.
The name's Bond. Let's talk about the physical. What's one thing you thought physically on the court? If we had to pick one of the, for the volleyball heads, for one of the 6 fundamentals, blocking, hitting, digging, passing, serving, setting, what's one thing you showed a little bit better? Mike, I could tell. I could tell Mike's a setting. Mike has become so much better, a better setter.
One thing that
you thought you showed significant, or Mike, no. Tell me one thing you thought he showed significant improvement in fundamentally, picking one of those 6. We already talked about the neck up. Let's talk about
he is
the physical.
He is good for, he's 100% on blocking.
Yeah.
So I mean,
he's got the skill set of an Asian,
his one blocking rep per tournament is a block. So
100% block.
But he's always
you're averaging one a game.
No,
that's more than the blockers. No, sorry.
Oh man, which one? Because so many. That's a tough question. Because so many, like his serve is way better, even over the last 3 months, just because he's just been working on it, just getting it back at practice. He's always passed nails, like so. I'm not sitting here thinking his passing. It's his setting. I'm not going to comment on because I can't figure out if it's his setting or my passing. But my side out sucks.
Starts with the hold, baby.
Yeah.
Starts with the hold on that platform.
It's got to be the defense though. He's seeing the game at another level right now. Like he's getting into spaces and he's I don't know what game he's playing back there. I can't quite figure it out.
Right.
But I know it's creating a lot of opportunities. Dudes will just shoot straight over me high line and somehow he just sees it and he's like on the way.
And Nate has always had that. Nate had that when he was coaching with me at Endless Summer. Like when Nate was still trying to figure out things, like you got to consider the active players who are part of that group, right? Miles Evans was, whatever, and this and that. So this is like 2007, like the Manhattan Beach qualifier. And we're all at Duran's house, the program director, and like Oz didn't make it. Andrew didn't make it, right? Jeff barely made it. And out of all these coaches, we're Endless Summer represent. We're hoping like all of them make the draw. And none of them made it. And she's like, so who made it? And I said, Nate. And she goes, Nate Yang? And I said,
Smith
yeah, he works
qualified with Dave Smith.
with Dave Smith.
Like a 53 seed or something crazy.
Oh my God. So the cool thing is he's always had that. And while I'm talking, I'm actually typing up a top 10 plays because I did a top 10 plays from that Manhattan Beach. And you just had this ridiculous dig. I think that was for the game or something like that. No. They missed.
They made a hitting error.
Yeah,
for the game.
they missed. So let's look up
freeze.
top 10 Manhattan Beach.
Oh, from the one when you qualified. Is
Yeah,
that what he's talking about? Okay.
Yeah. Top 10 Manhattan Beach volleyball. Sorry, AVP. Top 10 AVP Manhattan Beach. So Nate, you're right. It is hard to pick a fundamental because you're generally balanced across the board. I do like the emphasis on serving because when we used to have these debates as coaches, you were one of the people that were like, this is what divides like mid-level open players from like the best open players, right? When you're in an environment where everyone can enlist a cave troll, like this guy, he's huge, right? When every team
Enlist the cave troll.
yeah. So this is the guy you got to pay money across the bridge.
I'm a good
dude.
cave troll.
Yes.
Or cave troll.
Can I cross the bridge?
Cave out in the
Big
mountains
Mike, can I
now.
cross the bridge? It's like, got any money, kid? It's like, I got $5. It's like $5 is the amount of money it takes for me to tell you no. And since I just told you no, give me my money. So,
Step 1, enlisted the cave troll. Step 2, serve aggressive.
But right, you're always going to find good defenders. You're always going to find outside hitters who convert to beach, who can light it up on offense. But look at the difference in like the higher level, like top 5 domestically, that separates them. The serve to space. Even the ones that look like lollipops, they're serving 10 times the exact same spot because they're thinking constant pressure. So even the lollipops are strategic, right? Phil, like first round, he plays someone he never knows. He's going to serve a lollipop because he wants to see if their in-system set plays into to his pike or his reach, right? Like first round, I thought you blocked really well because where they were setting is just, I'm like, that's like basically they're setting you, you know. Just when Nick Amato thought he was a good blocker, right? It's like, holy sugar, you just ran into a cave troll. I'm kidding.
No, he hit well against us though.
Yeah, he plays he plays with a very angry
demeanor.
Yeah, and it works for him. It doesn't work for everybody, and I really, really like. I'm not sure if it was 2018 or 2017. Which one? Do you remember which year?
When?
When you qualified for the draw, was it 18?
That was 17 with the Smithers. Yeah.
Oh, 17.
Yeah.
All right, because I did one for 2018 too.
Maybe that was in the quality. I forget.
Right, top 10 Manhattan Beach 2018. Let's just go to 2017. So Nate, while we're doing that, give me one thing from fundamentally or psychologically or the mental game that you would like to show a little bit of improvement on. The floor is yours.
Yeah, I mean, that list is long. I think the serving still needs a lot of work. It's like it's better than it was. That was also a big Mike thing he brought to the team. It's just like, dude, serving makes real points. You know, and for us, like, that's something we just decided we got to do to keep producing them regularly. And so that encouragement he brought, it's like, you know, something that's like I've been working on all summer now and all year. And so I think that's tied to physicality for me. You know, the more physical I get, the more opportunities I can change and transition, you know, from off the net, do different things. The faster I'll be running balls down. So I think I feel like at this point for me comes down to just getting more physical, doing my work in the gym because I like where my skills are at. There's, you know, a lot of improvement in all of them always, but like the more physical I get, the harder I can serve, the more transition balls I can you know, put away. And that's going to be like, to me, I think just I look, you know, we go to Atlanta, okay, and I look and we're lined up, it's all these guys and I go, you know, where am I physically on this list? And it's like, where can I be? You know? Right. And I'm like, well, dude, I could be a top 3 or 4 physicality defender, and that would change the game. You watch Miles, you know, Miles does his work in the gym.
Miles is, again,
I'm talking about
technique.
Miles Evans, actually.
Oh,
Miles
Evans, yeah.
Like, you know, skilled dude, but he's the inch taller.
The guy's built to play the position.
Massive,
right?
But he works in the gym hard, you know, and it's like, it benefits him because he's fast all over the court, and he can hit on top of the blocker's hands. You look at Hagen, and you're like, all right, like this dude can hit on top of all these blockers' hands, right? And then I can't do that. I can't get on top of a 6'8" blocker and hit off the top of their hands consistently. And it's like, so if I could do that, I think it kind of adds another dimension to my side out in my game, you know? And then I think, always searching to become a better setter. I think that's one where it's, you know, you can rep it out a million times, but it's some skill that, like, the difference between a perfect set and a good set is always going to be noticeable, you know? And so finding the perfect set, you know, it's like, it happens for me when I just rep out like crazy, you know? And so actually good opportunity to give a shout out to Jenna Phillips at Volleyball Paradise Club down there in St. Pete. She put incredible work in along with a couple of my roommates down there, Alex and Joel. I asked them, hey, can you get me ready to play in Atlanta and for this little run in SoCal? And they responded with a resounding yes and helped create an environment for me to do that and rep some of that stuff out.
Attitude, training.
100%, dude. They brought the juice, brought the positivity, and, you know, Jenna just, like, so good at creating that environment and bringing the energy and bringing the culture. So shout out to them.
Yeah, and I like that the physicality is very much important, but never not pay attention to the technique, because you've met a lot of players in your career that have, like, they're just skinny and they're bones, right? But they're like lighting on offense. They're just like hitting, you know, it's hitting the clouds on a one bounce, right? Yeah. Taylor is not exactly someone I would call the poster boy for physicality, right? But and he's got more muscle now, and he's got more, like, you know, he looks more like the prototypical thin volleyball player. But coming up, you know, when he was coming in the main, you know, playing with Spencer McLaughlin, that was the first time I saw him play Manhattan Beach, right? skin and bone, man. The guy played with a hoodie in 90-degree humid weather,
Yeah.
you know? And, yeah, so we never not abandon that, because there are certain things that you bring to the table, and allowing that technique to get stronger on its own, and having the physical meet in the middle at the same time is what I call the perfect storm. So before I forget, because we're gonna this is I found the top 10 plays. I just want to see where we are, but let's have fun looking at some of them.
This time, stay down. Number 8, Rafa Rodriguez, Marciniak. Marciniak gets touch block. Rafa covers. There's the jump bump and the cut.
Oh,
and
the
put
jump bump.
away.
Yeah.
With
Number
the
8.
dude, that
Number
he would have
7
brought
had
the
to go
jump
back to the
bump for sure.
qualifying rounds for this. Volleyball mag rider and right side hitter Travis Merwitter with the jump floater. Del Sol trying to be a player on 2. Merwitter trying to be a player hater. There's the stuff. That's player number 7.
I just really like him moving. Like I know Scalo Del Sol.
Phil, Nick, up 21-20 on Marciniak and Rodriguez.
I must have ranked you
Phil
pretty
says,
high. We're on number
Joseph
6
got
right
Phil.
now.
I think I'm gonna get one. And then the very next set in the same match, at the scoring freeze, Phil says to himself, Phil, I need a jump serve down the middle, and he gets
Two
it.
walk-off
2 sets to
aces.
0
Yeah.
wins
Oh
over
my gosh.
Marciniak and
Set
Phil's
point and
back
match
in the
point.
knocking him down.
Yeah.
Number 5,
Ooh.
Strickland. Watch
There it
Bobo in
is.
the qualifier match. Tries to go over the top. Yang says, is it worth it? Let me work it. Lay my thing down, flip it, and reverse it. Goes flying over and back. Flip it. Actually win, and they qualify to get into the main draw.
Who is this you're playing?
That's what Dave Smith.
Tim
Walk
Bunker
Vogel,
says, you got a
Strickland.
right side serve. I got a one-arm pass. And a line shot.
Oh my
Tim
God.
Center.
Did you see the one and his right arm too?
No,
2 sets
he did
to
that to me
0
like
wins
last week in
over
Atlanta. I
Marciniak.
bombed
did.
one down his line and he one-armed
Number
it.
3,
Same exact
Crab
move. Yeah,
versus
right down
Crab.
the
The
line.
last match in the winners bracket to decide to go to the semifinals, and there you see Gibb hitting cross court gets dug on the coverage. Beautiful coverage. Fakes with his right, hits him with the left. If he hurts you with his left, go down.
That's back when Trevor and Rosie were playing.
and
Yeah.
Charter Crab winners of that match, 2 sets to 1. Number 2.
Let's just go to number 1. right? Let's just let it run
Check
through.
out the bring back by Clemens as Ben
Brandon
hurls
Clemens.
down the line.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Wins that battle, but eventually loses the war 2 sets to 0. That brings me to number 1. Once again, Crab Gibb. There's my man, Jake Blocker Gibb. Jake, the head, Gibb. Jake, wait for it, Gibb. Jake, throw down, Gibb. Winners 2 sets to 0 over Fielder and Rosari.
All right, enough of that.
Who is the guy in the pink hat? Is that Troy Field?
That was Troy Field.
And who was he playing with?
Orlando Irizarry.
Yeah, that's right.
They
Orlando.
qualified in
Who's that?
2017
He's
Manhattan
like-
Beach
is,
Open.
Is Rafi's cousin?
Huh?
Is
Yeah.
Rafi's cousin? Yeah.
Did they used to play together?
They played.
Were
They played
in
North
New
Seiko
York
together.
or something together?
Yeah.
And
They
beat-
did. Yeah.
They beat like Ian and Mark
Yeah,
the
they-
game to get in or something.
Their skill set's tight. That's just a testament, right? Like Orlando's not a terribly physical person, but you can really take someone's lunch money with technique, man. You know. So you want to get better at serving. That was the physical part, right?
Basically, yeah, that's my physical part. My skill thing, I mean, there's a couple things we've been watching. The one he nailed about like passing technique, it being still on the pass so you can react better, like eyes lead the body type of thing.
Yeah.
It's serve receive, but it's also defense. And it's like anytime you make some sort of move or juke back there, there's a point of diminishing returns where if you're still moving when they hit the ball, you know.
Even if you twitch, it sucks, right? Because you didn't like move all the way. You just twitch and they go the other way, and your blocker's like go, and you're like I can't. I can't.
I'm having flashbacks from
can't.
Friday. I can't take this right now. There were so many slapdowns from Lila and DJ
Oh
where
my God.
Nate was
Lila was
standing
carving me
angle and
up,
he
bro.
leaned. He just leaned over his right foot and he just slapped it down.
Yeah.
And I was like, Nate, what happened?
So
He
that's-
just-
Yeah.
That's the big one is just like, okay, like you got a bag of tricks, right? Bag
Yeah,
of
well-
tricks work on certain guys, other bags don't work on other guys, and early on in the game, you know, just having something a little more straight up to read and react, you know,
Yeah.
different tempo sets, you gotta make different moves, and it's fun. Actually, the first time it came to my attention that it, you know, was something that what a high level of it looked like was me and Mike played Tim and Kyle in Virginia Beach last year, and it was a good match, you know, 3-setter, you know, I don't know if it was extra points or not, but I felt like every ball I shot, Tim touched. So I went back and I watched that film, watched what he was doing with his feet, you know, because I was seeing him move from the angle, you know, to the line. I cut shot it and he'd run it and touch it. I'm like, what's this guy doing? But every time on contact, like just before I contacted, his feet were touching down, his hips were loaded. Boom, he was going. I'm like, respect Timmy, because I came up with Timmy. He's playing out in the South Bay when he was a kid growing up, and he played incredible defense on me. And so I went and watched that, and then I've been watching some other great defenders, and the guys that are consistently moving, they're like, they'll blow it once in a while, right? When it go high ball to tempo ball, but they're making the adjustment pretty fast on what move they're making to be able to get back, into recovery mode, and it plays off the shot, but also off the block touch. Guy goes high hands on your blocker. If you're able to make a reactive move to play that ball back, it goes a long way. So I feel like an interesting stat that nobody does that I would do if I'd had infinite resources and time would be stat like defense, like I don't know what you call it, like defensive balance ratio, where it's like the amount of times you're out of how many ups you're leaning or pushing the wrong way. And it's just like, if you don't get the dig, but you still lean and take a step or something in the direction of the ball, hey, that's a +1. If you like are actively going the wrong way, it's a 0. And you stat that, and you're like, 80% of the time your balance moving the right way. Cool. Like what would that stat look like to track? So I don't track it, but I would want to, and I feel like that's one that eventually would result in a lot more points. But we're result oriented. Like, I get the dig and transition it. That we're not looking at that. I think if you stat a guy like Tim Brewster, he's like 90% leaning and pushing the right way on defense, which is incredible.
Well, Tim also has something that he's kind of like the poor man's John Mayer in a sense, that balance. You never see, like he's in the athletic stance, you never see him leaning too far forward. It's almost weird. It's almost like he's like a French guy taking a dump. It's his posture and his back is like, you know those toilets where you don't get to sit on it, right, or whatever, something over there. People just squatting and whatever. But and that's what Tim has that brings it to the table, because if you notice, Tim doesn't spend a lot of energy on defense. And you remember John Mayer back in the day? Mayer would be the only guy in the game not sweating. He had really good balance. He had really good twitch. He had really good one move to the ball. But it all derives from something where you were missing a little bit that last match against Tucker or whatever. And I'm going to play just coach advocate here. There were some things where you were twitching, you were facing the hitter, and then your twitch, you were facing the net. Yeah. And when you do that, I'll put the camera back on me. When you do that, your angular pursuit is this way, where the line over or the shorty, you have to make a second move or a third, or sometimes even a third move. Where if you're Nate, you get that little New York machine gun, boom, 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 boom. So anywhere he goes, whether you're a crossover first guy or whether you're a step out guy, it's one move to the ball. And someone like you, even you can literally watch it, tap it, and then watch it halfway, and you can still get that in one move. So I felt like in that game you had to use more than one move because your twitch was facing more this way, where your angular pursuit was here. Even the cut goes by you or drops where you have to make a second move, and here the line over. So and on dig, your margin for error now is here, 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 and here. That's away from the net, right? Where if you're here, your margin for error is there. So that's one of the things. The second thing you guys did was you played scrap volleyball with a scrap team. Like, I'm a Chairborn Ranger, and I'm sitting here. It's easy for me to say I wasn't playing, blah, 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 because I know fans try to treat me like a fan too, but I'm a freaking coach too. But slow down that game. Check the line again. Put your hand up. Call timeout, come back, I need a medical timeout. Make it so slow and so boring. So boring. If anyone watching a live stream would be like, your parents would be like this. and sometimes you got to win. You got to take what they do best and just be like, no, this ain't going to be pretty. This ain't going to be one of those things where everyone's cheering for the underdog because they ain't got no real blocker and cheering against. No, hell no. It's going to be boring. We're sending everybody home. Well, the sunset. Wow, no night lights out here. Tough noogies. Tough luck. So those are the only two things I thought you could have done a little bit better against a team that was already playing good volleyball. I mean, Lila and DJ were playing good all day. I mean, I'm not saying they win that anyway. I'm just saying that goes another way. If you keep your discipline, the one thing that gets you to everything else that you do well, facing the hitter, gets you to that straight and simple. Facing the hitter gets you to that one move to the ball. Facing the hitter allows you to just even get there early and hold, you know? And for you, serve, receive, holding saves all. Because if you hold, the ball's going to wait there and wait for Nate to get there. And your court vision, all of a sudden, you see the blocker, you see the dig, you see that girl with the bikini top who's been watching you in the back line the whole time. You know, and you're like, wait, how long has she been looking at me? let me hold, guys, let me hold another one. Wow, she did it again. So, but that's just my opinion. Of course.
I think you nailed it. It's like just the different guys, you got to play them differently. And those guys, man, they play in the wind a lot more than us. And on that Friday afternoon, it showed, you know. And then you gotta, like, you know. And
when the play was over, they could not wait to get that ball. They literally
kept it going,
threw it to someone and went behind the service line. And I'm like, is Nate and Big Mike going to accommodate them? Are they just going to line up, or are they going to be like, hey, relax, slow down? You know, sometimes you got to do the unexciting thing to win a match that could go another way, which it did, you know. But I'm so glad I got to watch you guys play. I'm a bit of a fan of Nate, and I got to know you, and I think you're hilarious, dude. I just love the stories about Citadel, and that podcast was almost 100 episodes ago, but you're like, dude, you're talking about things I don't even remember. So
I'm shocked at your memory. It's like impeccable.
It's a steel trap, but ask me to remember my daughter's name, who just left. She's literally like, Braxton. My name's Braxton. No, I remember. I just gotta, that New York. Let's go. So how did you two end up playing together? How did you two start playing together? Let's have a little fun here. I got both you guys on split screen anyway. I got to stop yapping and give you the floor. How did you two start playing together?
You want to take this one, Mike?
Well, this was a interesting developing relationship. So Nate qualifies 2017. Cool. I don't. Not cool. We train. He's back in Colorado. He's starting up Flourish Beach, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong.
That's right. Yeah, those are the Flourish years.
So he's starting up Flourish Beach.
2018, probably. 2018.
I'm driving up, training with him a little bit in this church with these low ceilings and stuff. And it's like February 2018. Nate's like, all right, I got to see if this dude's any good. Let's go down to Texas. There's these 2 tournaments. There's one on Friday and one on Saturday. We're going to play them both. By the way, he sent me one of these clips today. And this is something Nate's improved on a lot, but his demeanor was total like California still, and just like, I'm better than you.
Yeah.
And I'm going to let you know about it. And I got every serve, as I should have. And we lost, we should have.
I was a dick.
He was a huge dick. And he's like, yeah, I think I'm going to play with other people this season.
Let's get cooked for a little bit.
He's like, yeah, you could go back to the drawing board. So Nate can pick it up from there.
Man, where to go from there? So I think, like, fast forward to 2019. That's the next year. I think we did the same song and dance pretty much, right? We went and played a couple locals that winter, and I think at that point we had, he had put in a whole year playing with Dave Smith out here, just an incredible amount of volleyball and touch and all that. And did you get me? I think you beat me with Brian Klein in a tournament, right? Like, you screaming at me all crazy and shit.
Oh my gosh, you played with Justin and Motherload.
Yeah, I played with Justin and Motherload. He beats me, like, going all crazy, screaming at me and stuff. And I'm like, oh fuck, gotta play this guy again now. He's doing it, And that was the end of that 2019 year. So I think we worked out a little bit in 2019, and then the world stopped. COVID hit. And at that point,
the earth stood still.
Yeah, it totally stood still. So at that point, we were just like, all right, like, we're 2 guys in Colorado looking to improve. I still had just other priorities, really, like, with the game. I was really, really committed to my coaching and just the work I was doing out there. And Mike was just bringing the most fired up, like, let's get better energy on the court. And I wasn't. Like, I was not in that place. But I recognized that in him, and I liked it. I was like, dude, I want this around me, right? So we put in so much work during COVID. I mean, the stories, I don't know. we messed around with designing an offense with like different sets, and we just had like total drawing board tinker and stuff. And I think so we played together like after that 2019 season leading into 2020. Like there was a couple events. There was like when was that AVP Next Gold in New Orleans? Was that?
No, so it was 2020.
Yeah,
is when the events came back, and
Yeah.
we
the Long Beach thing, or
no, we
it
couldn't
was
play
no,
those.
for you,
after
which,
that.
yeah.
For us, what ended up happening is we just did all this training, and just so much training and no tournaments because of COVID. But in Colorado, we had here in California there was nowhere to train.
No.
But we had places to go. We had hidden gems to go train, even though it was locked down. And Wapaka rolls around.
Oh yeah.
And we're like, we're so excited. We're
play a
going to
tournament.
Wapaka. We're going. And so we would train with like Skylar and Cody Kessel, and they would this was one of the great things. We got the crap beaten out of us for weeks on weeks, 3 to 5 days a week. We're just getting the crap beat out. I don't know. Do you know Cody?
I do.
Insane.
That's John's son, who's in Italy right now playing indoor.
Yeah, he's an incredible dude, and he's got a really, really
chip
good,
off the old block, by the way.
really good email like newsletter. I need to find the name. Maybe you can post in the show notes. I'm blanking right now.
Yeah,
But
I'll definitely do
he
that.
shares his insights on the game and competing and all that he's doing out there in Europe, and you get a chance to read it. It's really good. But
yeah, Mike was
Wapaka,
on. Yeah.
So we got to go to Wapaka. And listen, I hadn't played like any legit open tournaments yet. Like I've played these Breckenridge, Mother
they're legit tournaments.
They're
but
legit,
we're
but it's
talking,
not
the
like
AVP
people
ones
aren't
that were
coming out
out.
from
No,
California.
but there's the sizes. We get that.
Right,
No,
the draw
totally
is
get
way
that.
bigger.
Yep.
And so we came out. There was like 64 teams at this Wapaka. They did the modified pool play. We barely pulled out, which I was still stoked about. I don't know if Nate was stoked about. We lost to Evan Corey and Schwingle. Not Schwingle, the lefty that we've been Tim. We lose to them in pool. They beat us pretty bad. We're kind of down. And then we just came out the next day. We had our Olive Garden, all you can eat that night. Lots. I ate so many breadsticks.
God.
And we came out.
You go there just for the breadsticks, dude. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
You got to. And we came out. I can't even remember. We played like John Hamilton, beat him and some dude. And then we got to play like Rafi and Bruno. I don't know why they played together. It's like a random. That's just a random matchup, right? You're like Rafi and Bruno Amorim playing together.
The odd couple, yeah.
Yeah, it was the odd couple. We pulled them. Perfect. We played like right into them. And so I just went. I was so excited. I was screaming, total like just
Crazy
nut
Mike,
job.
yeah.
He's like kind of like, I'm sorry. He's like good cop, bad cop. He's I'm sorry. He's like, I'm sorry. He's a little excited to play this.
Since you gotta understand what we've been through.
So we beat him, and we ended up getting third. Beat Angel and some blocker. Ball State.
Dache and yeah.
We ran into Billy Klinsky and Miles.
We took a set off of them.
Yeah.
Semis and
Which, by the way, at that time,
they
were
straight
like
set it every
they were
other-
like
they
the
straight
team
set
to
it
beat.
every
They
other
were
team
so
in that
unstoppable.
tournament. Yeah, and we took a set, took them 3, and after that tournament, we were like, all right, we could probably do this. There's something here. And just like a note to that, how far after was New Orleans? It was pretty. It was that
It was
same
the
year.
next summer in May.
The next summer, May. So
It was 2021.
yeah, so we kept the train.
June, first week of June. I was there.
Yeah, we kept the train going, leading up to that point. But that was kind of like this year of 2021. Mike's whole philosophy during COVID was like, if everyone else is hitting the pause button, I'm gonna hit the fast forward button on my game like as hard as possible and close the gap, right? And then he shows up to Wapaka, pulls the third. We show up to this AVP Gold in New Orleans. You get a 5th, and this is the time period where he just totally surpassed me. Like I was kind of the vet who knew the things, could sat out with no muscles, type of thing. And that year, this dude worked so hard. It was it was cracked. I've never seen a human being in volleyball work that hard. Because I've been around playing this thing for like time. I've never seen somebody work that hard, and it showed.
Yeah. Wow.
And so that May, where I come off that New Orleans, and I go, in June, I go to Miami for my birthday with my friend group, party real hard. It's June 15th, which is like, my birthday, but that's also the day that colleges recruit all the sophomores. So I'm up all night on the phone with with colleges, and we were practice that Monday morning, June 15th.
Wow.
And
So good.
and I didn't show up.
No, come on.
I slept in on June 15th. And
He did a California thing.
Yeah, but here's the thing. At that
Like,
point,
you know, we had practice today. Yeah.
the tension had built because, like I said, this dude's been working like a workhorse, and I hadn't been, right? And so, the afternoon, hey Nate, I'm playing the season with someone else, and I think we all know how that played out. He picked up DR, and these guys went and just had an all-world tournament in Atlanta, and I remember it stung that day, you know, and shortly thereafter. But I'm looking at it, I'm like, this dude's not dumping me for any other reason than he just got the, you know, most clean, driven energy around this game. And I have to respect that. I have to respect that. And I did. And I remember I called him after he qualified in Atlanta or after that tournament. And it was, man, like, hell yeah. It showed that you deserved it. He did. Like, and nobody has seen, like, there's a few guys in Colorado I've seen the work this guy put in that time. But I wish the world could know that this dude isn't just some guy who pulled a ninth and got lucky.
He's
he
not
worked
jagging.
His tail off for it.
He didn't jag it.
And so that put a basis of respect that I'm carrying into this partnership this year because time passed and we kept the relationship going, kept making each other better that year training in Colorado, and that made it be like, all right, dude, I'm not gonna make the same mistake twice, right? And so when we linked up this year, I have it written in my journal on January 7th. Like, Mike's not working harder than me this year.
No, I like it.
He's not working harder than me.
A healthy
this year.
competition. Yeah.
He's gonna work harder, right? Like, and you know, who knows? Like, it's just more about an eternal mindset, owning your own.
Yeah.
You know, but he led the team in that, and that's one of the things I always tell him. Like, before we even linked up and played together this past year, was like, dude, the way you operate in your life fires me up to be around you. Just like to hear you talk about like the you know, look in your eyes when you talk about, you know, the training or the work you're doing or whatever. It's like the dude's like lit up and on fire and inspired. And that's like, it's hard to find, like, everybody has their inspiration, but like a lot of people are up and down with it. This dude's like, I've never met somebody that's like that on it, you know, like that crazy. Driven that, and people, I don't know. So that's kind of the story arc was I dumped him, he dumped me, and then we have mutual respect and we play together now.
That's awesome, dude. And I was actually going to call Doc in the middle of the podcast. That's why I'm on my phone right now, listening to this awesome conversation. You were under my radar when New Orleans happened, because New Orleans, like, I was this guy that kind of like came here and had to pay dues all over again for like, because I moved here to be a color commentator and a play-by-play guy and a coach. So started over right in the summer, and then Pepperdine's home games, and then P1440. Actually watched Miles Evans and Bill take third. It was crazy, right? And I did Vegas, and then finally my first gig was the regional one at whatever, and I was like, cool, Big Mike. This guy looks like he works hard, man. So actually, let me see.
Yeah, you were there in that New Orleans tournament. Yep.
Yeah.
I
called the finals. That was it was one of my highlights. It wasn't the biggest thing I did. The biggest thing I did was FIVB Vegas, because that was just huge. That was Mullen Sorum or whatever, and I did court 5 the whole weekend. But calling the finals with night lights, with the hometown favorite, cool. Right?
Yeah.
Like Evan Coy or whatever. There was something more
that was a great tournament.
But talking about something that's transcendent, like a bunch of people that don't know volleyball, that'll be like, I actually like that game's more exciting than that one. Everyone's like, what are you talking about? That's Mullen Sorum. They're like, I don't care. that night game and what happened and us and like the drama behind it, like Peter on one leg, you know, stuff like that, right? He was on one leg.
Do you think that the current AVPs are as hype as that one was?
No. I just can't. I'm a prisoner of the moment, and I have a personal bias because New Orleans chose me. The AVP didn't choose me for that. New Orleans, Sean Ledig, and those guys, they wanted me to do that. Yeah. You know, and I had guys saying I'm pulling my sponsors out if you screw Jason like that. I had a guy that said I'm Chris Ships.
Yeah. Why is that one? This is a question.
It's a good old boys club.
Why is that one so much more hype, exciting than the actual AVP that comes back to New Orleans?
Because the former, not the latter.
Is it more of a party?
It's more of a party, but there was a level of inclusiveness of bringing in the people that everyone collectively thought would do some really good things, right? If you think solving the problem is enlisting the same people, that never helped in the first place, and in some cases even hurt. And this is as far as I could take it without just crapping all over the AVP. I'm not trying to do that.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to give fair criticism because that's
what I'm asking.
Because that's a fair question.
Well,
my theory is inclusiveness, and I'll speak out of my own ego. Yeah. I got the three of you here. Tell me to my face, who's a better color commentator, me or Rich Lamborn?
I've never listened to Rich Lamborn, so I can't.
Right, me or Dane Blanton, right? Me or Cameron Irvin.
Oh,
you could
no,
say
yeah, you
no,
got
but
way
you
more
could say
color
nice.
and it's
You can say
vibrant.
nice things about all of those
Yeah.
people, but the best person for the job, and I'm speaking out of ego, but also from a heightened level of self-honesty, and a lot of people will agree with this.
You got to believe it to own it. And those guys, I mean, they bring incredible analytical points to the game.
Yep.
They're, they know the game inside out, and they're talking. But Jay, you're exciting.
Yes.
You say ridiculous stuff, and you do it
You don't-
consistently.
If you want to sell a Ferrari, you don't enlist the
and that's cool.
mechanic. You know, the guy who knows how to fix it and who knows how it runs.
Yeah.
You don't, with
there's
respect
two
to that
different
man's ability, you don't enlist him to sell it. You enlist a salesperson to sell a Ferrari, not the guy who can fix it. I mean, theory, right? No, but in theory, we think if you could fix it, you should sell it, right? Because that's the theory, but that's not the reality. And that's what I'm hoping the AVP takes a better turn. Dane's great. Give him a good setup, man. Give him a good play-by-play guy. Rich his analytical's off the page. Give him a setup guy. Because I heard someone say I'd rather watch paint dry. Since I already jumped into this, I'm gonna just say what other people are saying.
I honestly sometimes hit mute because it's
But we're not crapping on them. We're just saying what other people are saying. They have to hear this.
Yeah.
They can't be surrounded in this 5 zip codes where everyone's saying yes.
yeah.
We have to.
Consolation
They have to
prizes.
know.
Yeah.
No, but they have to know what everyone thinks collectively. Because and hold that thought because we're here so you could talk, not me. But it's not about me thinking where they're lacking. It's where I
Just
think
trying to make it better.
yes,
Yeah, this is-
because all of these guys can do it. I just want them to tweak it a little bit.
Yeah.
Not if it's not me, if I'm not your guy, fine. That's cool. I'm all right with that. I'm doing Motherload with Randy Stokeless. You know what I'm saying?
That'd be
And we're gonna have a good time. I'm gonna find a way to have a good time. I could have a good time at an insurance seminar. So
better be really good. Bring some good food.
I'll make sure I have that Geico or whatever.
The other thing though, I don't know if you remember, it was 64 teams in both men and women.
Right.
And that's a boatload of teams.
Yeah.
You don't see anything like that.
No.
And all those dudes stayed and watched, and they brought their people came out.
It
like,
was
traveled to come see it. Whereas you get the 16-team draw in New Orleans now on 3 courts. We were playing on 12, 14 courts. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's volleyball everywhere.
And night games rock, right? Nate, for people that got to work during the day, man. Sorry, you had a thought. I wanted to give you that, but I wanted to add that to that. Go ahead, Nate.
I was just reading what Mike said. I think Sean Ledig did an amazing job promoting that tournament. I think it was the right time at the right place. And also what Mike said, like 64-team modified pool play, why not? Why not make the Manhattan Beach Open 64-team modified pool play? Why not?
Yeah, do that. I mean,
It's exciting. It's
If
exciting,
they-
and you get
It's do or
double
die.
the draw.
Once you're
and
in
New
that
Orleans
thing.
found a way to do it in 2 days, right?
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. You can
So
take-
Manhattan Beach
you can
could definitely
take-
do it in 3.
You can take twice the amount of teams, make top seeds earn it. Like it's exciting. Like, and there's a lot of
How would
ways
you-
to like cut the cake, because it's always someone, but like it stirs it up and it makes it exciting. Like, I think it'd be cool, and I think that's like, you look at that, you look at like the Wapako we're talking about, like they had to do it because it was during COVID and they had to make the draw that big to get but at the same time it's like I think you look back at these epic that people always be posting on Instagram. This is the Manhattan Beach Open in 1995, and this is it now. Like, oh yeah, it's just the draw's half the size. Like you're gonna get a smaller turnout.
Ooh,
Like,
I got a question since I got some real ballers in the house. How would you feel about Manhattan Beach being single elimination, 128 teams?
oh damn.
Oh my gosh.
How exciting!
Well, guess
one
what?
seed's
It is.
playing
It's,
128.
Oh my God, that would be
right now
gnarly.
it is for us for the Q1, or
I know.
it's a single limb tournament as far as we're concerned.
I see a path to you guys. I'm actually going to put that up in a minute. I have a path where the likely scenario is Jimenez and Spencer Locke if they win, if they maintain their higher seed, and if you do yours, the path to that play-in is going to be them in that. And with Styles making matchups, I like you guys a lot. I really that's gonna that'll
Carlos
be
in the win. Grije, he's the win guy. Win
Carlos
god.
is ridiculous. Hold on, let me see if we could get Doc. Hold up, let's see if he picks up. Shit, does it? Okay, he's not there. Cool. I tried. So let's use this time and let's take a look at the brackets for a minute. Cool. Let's get this up, but think about that. I want you guys to let that swirl in your head a little bit. 120, like just like tennis, just like the U.S. Open or something. So 100, like have like a mini, like a 20-team qualifier or whatever, and then a main draw, single elimination.
You're guaranteed 400 eyeballs at least.
Yes.
Like, 'cause
you have to play. Even the good teams have to play every match as if it's their last.
Yeah. How many matches is that to win the tournament?
Probably 7.
128,
64, 32, 16, 8, 4, and 2. Yeah, 7. That's 7,
Over
whatever.
how many days?
I guess 3 days, right?
3.
I mean, tennis is doing day on, day off, right? And that's like a 7-day tournament. So I think Manhattan Beach could do it in 3.
So you do 3 on the first day, 2 and 2?
Yeah, 3, 2, and 2.
You get championship.
You might have
Sunday.
to do 2-3-2 just courts to get everybody through.
Yeah.
Yeah, so many courts.
You're right. Yeah.
But that first day, look, when that cuts in half, we good.
Yeah, that's an exciting day.
Because you need
Volleyball,
64
it's an
courts for the
exciting day.
128 teams, right? Well, we're just talking about one sex too, so
Yeah.
Ooh, you're right.
He's right too.
So let's take a look at the men's. I could zoom in on this. So let's scroll. I'm a scroll man. Wow, look at Gage Basie. Lars is playing such good volleyball right now. Gage's brother, Lars Basie.
Those guys.
Yeah, Colorado
got it.
dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was there when they beat Samuels and Burek. They won Motherlode last year. Lars Basie and Ian Carlson, which I guess checked the forecast and hell, it froze over because I didn't think they'd win that match. So here's you guys. Here's the number 1. So count all the way to 10, because with the top 8 teams going right, 8's going to play 9 to get in. So you're counting down to 10, and my count says Locke and Jimenez.
Well, we would play 16.
Yeah, one and
'Cause
16.
it go-
Oh, that's duh.
It's just eight get in.
Just
So let's
add,
go.
you know,
I was gonna
11,
say,
7,
I'm like
12,
Spence
13,
and
14,
Guiche. I'm like,
15.
that's a little.
That's
more
Bicco
steep
and
than I-
Bicco and Cole.
Those dudes played pretty
and
good.
then
in
17's
Huntington.
Chris and Owen, so they'll play each other to
Right.
play into the qualifying. Most likely, there's also
Misha
60 other
and
teams.
Angel Dace.
And there's also the almost certain guarantee that something changes. between
Yeah,
now
there's
and Thursday
someone's
morning.
points change or a dog died or
All right, let's scroll past the top 16 and see who can ruin someone's day.
Carvalhais, Hart, Thyler.
Rotman and Cervantes could ruin someone's day. They did last year.
Yeah.
They made the draw, and I think Rotman couldn't play.
Who did Mesco pick
Rotman
up?
ended up,
Who did Mesco pick up?
I'm not sure, but Rotman wasn't able to play.
Yeah.
And that Stanford guy,
nasty, yeah.
Stanford guy, I think outside hitter for their indoor team. Chronic and Ty, I like them, but not for no play-in. Sorry, boys. Phipps, wow, Phipps can just beat anybody. But look at all these guys that can ruin someone's day. Look at some of the people who are ranked lower, right?
Dude, that's the thing about SoCal tournaments. Dude, hey, don't sleep on Willison and Connor Reeves. These guys can
No.
play volleyball.
Yes.
These guys can play volleyball. They almost
let's
knocked
check
out
the
DJ
women.
and Lila in the qualifier on Friday.
So let's check the women. We're scrolling. Hey, my girl's in the draw. Check out Natalie.
Yep, not.
She seemed familiar.
Yeah.
So
I saw her last
Mike,
weekend.
so Mike, Natalie Miskowski is someone that played for us at Endless Summer. So we coached her at 13, 14, 15, and 16 years old.
this wasn't the one that was shocked that Nate qualified, right?
Right.
Okay, just want to make sure.
No, but
club
she
director.
ended up going to UCLA. She's starting her junior year at UCLA, so she's still in college. And she was the team that beat the Brazilians last Friday.
Yeah, she made the play-in match on Friday
Yeah.
too.
And what a gnarly bracket. You had to beat them, and that wasn't even your playing match? That's crazy, dude. So we got Pater, who I think is still a junior. She played with Wood in Hermosa Beach, and they played juniors, 18s, and then the main draw at the same time. They played 5 matches that first day. It's crazy. Katie Hogan, oh my God, that's my favorite bodyguard. That's someone I want. If I was like ever at a club and I don't want someone coming at me, if I'm in a nightclub, just get Katie Hogan, man, just right there.
Hey, playing defense.
Yeah, Zolani. Now Zolani, that's another juniors player that we coached with and against.
Oh yeah,
Afro black girl. Yeah. She's at Stanford right now.
I was gonna say she's not a junior anymore.
Yeah. All right, so let's get to the next question because y'all can't be here all night. I don't even know if you have a hard stop, but I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all making this happen because this has been a lot of fun.
When you sense Mike's starting to get hangry, that's when the stop is.
Yes. Yep.
Dude. We're not there yet.
Dude, I'm marinating a steak right now. I got a steak, and I have like this combination of like balsamic vinegar. You throwing some stuff in this, but for the first time, I just did it in Peter Luger steak sauce. I just did that because that's something you cook. Yeah. You do it after you cook it, and I said, let me marinate it before. So I'm trying that out, and if it sucks, you'll be the first one to know because something tells me you're not shy about eating meat. Okay, you don't get no body like that being a vegan.
Don't take this guy to Korean barbecue and like.
Korean barbecue rocks. There's a place near Mickey's right now. It's Korean barbecue. It's a small joint. Just Mickey's Pizzeria, the deli, just opened up. There's a little hole in the wall. So let's do a 60-second quiz. We're gonna do the lightning rounds at the end.
This is a warm up for lightning round.
Yes.
Cool.
Path to the
lightning
draw.
Round, warm up.
I'm like that. We covered path to the draw, good, better, best. Good momentum, not being too emotionally high, See how this chops right now? See the live stream? How the bit rate exceeded the data. So I do this kind of like I click off, take questions. Anyone, everyone's already asked, but let's go back because I actually like the screen that we can use the screen as a display.
Cool.
And let me set up my 60-second clock. Let's do that, and let's go back to live. For the audio people, sucks for you. I'm just kidding. Thanks for hanging with us. But you missed a whole bunch of highlights. Let's go to Nate. Boom. All right, so these 4 questions, 60 seconds of multiple choice. All right, ready? I got to get my horn ready.
Multiple choice.
Yes. All right. Question number 1. Who is the only male player to win an Olympic gold medal, an AVP crown, and an NCAA championship as a player and coach? Is it A, Karch Karai, B, Dane Blanton, or C, Todd Rogers?
Dane Blanton.
B.
Dane Blanton. That's correct. Ding, ding, ding. In 2017, the AVP came back to Hermosa Beach for the first time in nearly a decade. Who won the men's side? Is it A, Theo Brunner and John Hyden, B, Avatar and Allen, or C, Taylor Crabb and Jake Gibb? Jake Gibb and Taylor Crabb is correct. Question number 3. Which of the following players has never won a Manhattan Beach Open? Is it A, Betsy Flint, B, Brittany Hochevar, or C, Sarah Pavin?
Ooh. I think it's C.
Okay, it's A, Betsy Flint.
Dang.
Which of the following NCAA coaches right now in the NCAA has not won an AVP Tour crown? Is it A, John Mayer, B, Derek Olson, or C, Rafa Rodriguez?
Derek Olson.
That's correct, Derek Olson. You guys scored 75%, a possible 3 out of 4. And the crowd goes wild. Yeah, so just for compartmentalization.
Rafu and Ed won.
San Francisco. Yeah. I actually did analytics for them, so I was very proud to be listed as I didn't go, but I was listed as their coach, and I was like, yeah, cool. I'm there for the L's. I could give me some rub if I'm there. Gonna be there for the L's too. So yeah, for the first question, Dane Blanton, the only one. Karch has won 3 out of 4. 2017. It was Crabb versus Crabb. Their first meeting was in the winner's bracket, and then Trevor and Rosie came back and they met again in the finals. So Taylor's won those first 2 matches, although that right now I think Trevor's won 9 out of the last 12 or something like that. Number 3, Betsy Flint has been really, really close. Last year she's up 12-10 against Sarah Hughes and Kolinsky, and then you blink and Hughes and Kolinsky ran off 5 straight points to take the 3rd set.
I remember that now.
It's just like what the F just happened. And then the year before, a couple of years before, Alex in April, Betsy was down 2018 and went Jokari's mode at the service line and like tied the game and tried to make it interesting. Yeah, Derek Olsen's taken 5th twice. I think once in San Francisco and once in Seattle. John Mayer's won with Avatar.
Yeah, that's right.
And he's won with Brad Keenan. And Rafu, as you guys just mentioned, won with Ed Ratliff. Big shout out, Ed, doing good things for kids out there. Big shout out to Rafa Rodriguez, one of the best setters in the game no one talks about. I put him and Skylar Dressel in that same setter category. Like nectar hands, and I'm like, no one's talking about what? You know what, right?
Yeah, these guys got
Come
different hands.
right? We want to be like Skylar, and you guys would know, right? Talk about a guy that can out technique you to death. You right? Can like that. You're doing everything physically right, and he's still winning. You're like, what's up with that score? Wow, 15-17. What? I did everything right. So last round we're doing something called the lightning rounds, and then from there we wrap up and we feed the skinny boy and the beast. All right, let's do it. Let's set the clock again. Page 2. All right, ready, boys? And
Hit us.
I think you've done this previously, but we're doing it again. All right, pool or beach?
Beach.
He's like, huh?
I was trying to
La-
think, are you
last-
swim in one?
last
but
good-
you know, like ocean?
Last good
Ocean
book.
or beach?
Last good book you read.
Ooh.
What's the second one?
Last good book you read.
4
Oh,
agreements.
last good book you read.
What?
4 agreements.
Nice. What's the first one that came to your mind?
Man,
All right, we'll go back to that.
I'm
Marvel
just
or
drawing a blank.
Marvel or DC?
Marvel.
Oh yeah, Marvel.
Okay, Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter?
Oh man.
Lord of the Rings.
Man, there's
Come
not
on,
a-
Kyle Friend will thank you. Come on, man, let's go.
I think I got Harry Potter there.
Bourbon, vodka, or tequila?
Tequila.
Depends on the night.
Nice. I'm a vodka guy. Favorite sport outside of volleyball?
Ooh, basketball.
Does climbing count?
Yes.
All right.
Favorite action film star growing up? I'm old, so I go Arnold. I'm 53, so I go
Yeah.
Arnold.
Yeah.
Bruce Lee.
Bruce Lee.
Tom Cruise, I think.
Yes.
Like,
Come on, the guy that does his own stunts.
Yeah, I just
right?
am
Come
so
on, gotta
obsessed
give
with
him the
him.
rub, man. Oh, dude. So, great lightning round. So, last good book you read?
yeah. Man, I really like Ultimate Sales Machine. I've
Oh.
read it 5 times.
Wow. Cool.
Um,
That's someone I'm reading recently. That one over there. That's Tim Kennedy, Scars and Stripes. He's a former MMA guy, but he's also a former Green Beret. And was talking about some of the stuff he did overseas. And he has a documentary called Finding Hitler, which is he's in Argentina just looking for Nazis that escaped and this and that. And you know, he's actually on the Taliban's hit list or something like that. He lives in this gated community where everyone's armed to the teeth. So,
Holy cow.
but he's one of those guys. Like, if you think, you know, he really has that come and get me. Like, you know, come see me if you think you got what it takes. So, and I like him a lot. And then the one I read before that is The Real Anthony Fauci, written by Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Because what were conspiracy theories 3 years ago are now spoiler alerts today. So I'm interested in that stuff. My favorite conspiracy rabbit hole is the JFK assassination. I'm ex-military, so I'm just like, I don't think that guy could have made the shot. I'm just not sure if that guy could have made the shot. You know, and I'm not talking about who else did it, but I'm like, logistically,
you're rolling out that part.
the
and then
likelihood.
You don't know what else happened.
Yeah, because
All right.
no, because to some people, to introduce yourself to that topic, right? They think you have to be equipped. If not him, then who? Right? And sometimes that's not a 2-part question. Sometimes you got to get to part 1 first. Because if you think he made the shot, there's nothing left to discuss, right? And there is no other whatever, right? So me, I got a little hardware up on that wall. I'm an expert. The M16, the Beretta. And if you look at his military records, like, he wasn't a good shot. He was a sharpshooter, which is ranked 2nd as expert sharpshooter and marksman. But they said all of his best shots were from a distance. So I'm like, you're trying to tell me this dude missed 40 times, but only missed once from like 300 meters. And I'm like, wait, who signed his records? Like, to write it in? Like, who signed his shooting records? And it's signed by him. So he wrote in his own thing. So I called, you know, as an expert in certain weapons, called BS. So that's my rabbit hole. So, which is pretty safe because that's like 60 years ago. Which
Mike's got an
The-
older rabbit hole than that. The pyramids.
Oh, you got pyramids?
What? No, I just occasionally wonder. I go and I just think, man, these things are just too big. Like, there's just like, come on. You tell me they
Nate,
you
is
tell
he
me-
right? Think
you
about
telling me
They're
thousands
pretty
of
big.
people
They're pretty
dragged
big.
blocks across the sand with logs.
Not me, dude. I can barely walk across Hermosa Beach and back. I walked from 5th Street down to 2nd today. and
he's
I-
right though.
I'm not
Think
saying
about
the other stuff, but it's like
without a
with the shooting.
forklift or a
But
crane.
it's like what you said with the shooting, right? I'm not saying all the other stuff,
Right.
Like with the aliens and it could light up the sky and whatever. I'm saying, how did these people build it? Like, can someone please
Yes.
explain this? It's like if we got all our homies and we tried to go build the pyramids, we couldn't do it.
No, we couldn't. No, we get a
And
bunch.
we're not dumb.
No, no. I think volleyball players. I think everyone on the tour, as coaches and players, can probably go into the woods and build log cabins and start over. Right? Hit a couple of good-looking women over the head, drag them back, make babies. We could, we can start it. You're right. We have the know-how to start over because volleyball. Because we can't afford a lot of things, we have to become those things, right? I'm not a mechanic. It's like, congratulations, Mike, you're an Avenger. Yes, you are, right? I don't know CPR. Yes, you do, Nate. I don't know how to tech my own show. Guess what, Mike? You're an Avenger. The person teching my show, she's not here today. As you can tell, I've been running this myself, but it's worked out okay, right? Okay, before we go, particular website, IG handle. Someone wants to get to know more about you guys. Nate, go first.
Instagram's at Nenebird, Nenebird. It's a good place to find me.
Okay.
I think, is there a 16 after it? Yeah, there's 16. Nenebird 16. Yeah. But that's usually where I post and do whatever. And then, yeah.
Actually, we'll live this one. Oh, shut up. Never mind. All right, go ahead, Mike.
I'm gonna go with one you probably don't get. LinkedIn. Catch me on LinkedIn. I do a lot of my live shows on there, engineering content mostly.
Nice.
It's like Mike Groselle.
Nice.
So.
First time I met this guy, I had a little Christian Bale vibe for some reason. Like the face was Christian. Yeah, it really was.
See.
Like, yeah. And Nate, now you're one of a
You
kind.
can
I
walk
just
around
get,
like in a dark black hoodie, just like you never take off. And
get all breathy. I'm Batman. Yeah.
I'd like 2 Chipotle bowls, extra chicken,
Robin's only let me down every time I trusted him.
no sour cream.
He just said chicks dig the car. What was that? He said this is why Superman works alone. All right, guys. Listen, these guys might love you, but I don't love any of you guys. In fact, I had it with you. In fact, I can't stand any of you. So for all of you at home, for all of you on your iPads, for all of you on your desktop, who runs the world? Old school, brothers, old school. For Mike, Big Mike Groselle. For Nate, the great Yang, I'm Jason DeBeas. This is episode 184 of the Option Podcast. Stay with me. We're going to hit my music, but for now, we're out. Come check out the Option Podcast on optionvb.com. It's also available on iTunes and Spotify and on YouTube under the NY Varsity Sports handle. You're going to love what you hear.